Welcome back to Goldenhour Live. Now we have Travis Tyler, aka the Rizzler of LinkedIn, who's currently the senior social media manager at Motion. He's worked with companies like PandaDoc, Chili Piper, Apollo, Laudable Assembly to create scroll-stopping digital content. Sometimes it's funny, sometimes it's educational, and sometimes it's both. So Travis is here to talk to us about what an edutainment strategy is, why you need one, and how to get it done. Hey, Tyler.
What's up, fam? How's it
How
going?
you doing, Tyler?
Good. What's up,
Tyler.
Todd?
Mr. Tyler.
Mr. Two First Names.
There's two first names. Look at that.
Here to hang. Let's talk some edutainment.
So what is that, and how do we build one?
I want you to think about elementary school, middle school, high school for a minute. And I want you to go back and think about the very best teacher you ever had. It could have been an art teacher. For me, weirdly enough, it was my German language teacher in high school. Ich kann ein bisschen Deutsch sprechen, also.
Wonderful.
Yeah. And the reason I want you to do that is because edutainment really stems from all the way back to Benjamin Franklin, a little bit more modernly into Walt Disney, and we grew up on edutainment, and our favorite teachers were masters of it. And it's the blending of content that is informative but enjoyable at the same time.
So, the question becomes, why should a company invest in this instead of investing in traditional content marketing like SEO or free templates?
Well, Todd, that's a great question. I think they shouldn't invest in it separately. I think it needs to be all together. I think this is one part to the whole, but when you are trying to deliver online, there's companies we see, we've been naming them, you guys have been talking about them, they either get it and people love their content or is boring and everybody just kind of forgets about it. Yeah. And so when it comes to this type of content, it's really hard for anyone to steal your thunder as opposed to stealing your SEO thunder or trying to take away from what features your product's going to launch. But your expertise and the way that you deliver it in a fun, entertaining way, nobody can ever get that from you.
I absolutely love that. Think of a bunch of examples. You know, if you have that edutainment, it's a competitive advantage, right? It's really hard to find that. So that, I guess, is my question. I think it comes down to having the right people to do that, or how can you begin a strategy of edutainment content?
There's really two formats I've seen work successfully. One is you can outsource it. You're saying, hey, I don't know about this whole edutainment thing, but I like it, and I want to give it a try. So you can bring in some thought leaders, some influencers, some creators, and you can bring them on board for a 3-month pilot trial and say, like, hey, I want to give you creative control, but we need some help getting these kind of main messages and pillars that Dave Gerhardt was talking about here earlier. Yeah. Can you help us deliver that in a way that's interesting? You know what you're doing. You obviously are interesting enough for me to have noticed you. That's one way. The other way for you to do this is to be able to curate that from in-house. You might be surprised if you're a large enough company what shakes out when you start to say, like, hey, who wants to be on camera at this company? And that's basically what happened to me. Was a VP of marketing was like, hey, man, you're not that great of a writer. I was like, cool, thanks. Shout out to you, Sean. Love you, buddy. And he's like, how do you feel about getting in front of a camera? And I was like, well, I've been doing improv comedy for the last couple of years and training really hard and getting up on stage and having fun. Let's do it. I don't want to get fired. So that's the second way is to kind of build it internally and give them the resources that they need to be successful. So that might be just like a small budget of $1,000, $2,000, get some camera equipment. Okay, great. But then it's also giving them the creative flexibility to be able to do that. And that stems from having a founder, a board, and a CEO who all are cool with that. And if they're not, that can be a problem.
Surely those people you just mentioned, though, they want to measure it. Everyone loves to measure stuff, especially in the world of software and VCs. How do you measure that? How long do you wait? Where do you look to see if it's successful? There's 3 questions at once.
Dude, I love it, Aiken. So basically, what I've found to be most successful, and we started doing this at Motion, and it was a little bit difficult for me to do at PandaDoc, but we have self-reported attribution. It's something that a lot of people are familiar with, but if you're not, it's basically like, where did you hear about us? And we're starting to see LinkedIn and YouTube and that bar graph and HubSpot just get longer and longer. Every quarter that we see, where did our leads come from? And those are just demo requests. I'm not talking about hand raisers and other capacities, but being able to have that free form that our good friend formerly at Refined Labs, Chris Walker, talks about, is having people be able to do that. I've run into problems where that can be challenging, and so another good way to just look at it is brand lift. Lift tests have been around for a very long time, and if you're getting more website traffic, you can track it. That's a win for your edutainment content. You can see where it's coming from, but overall, you want to see a boost in website traffic. That's one of the best things you can do. And then in terms of measuring it, it's all the engagement metrics that you, Todd, and Will, you guys follow really closely. Things like, how's my follower count growing this year? How are my metrics doing in terms of likes, shares? Are people replicating my content without giving me credit for it? Who knows? But they say that mimicry is the finest form of flattery. That's one way to measure
They do
it.
say that. So we can't talk about the Rizzler of LinkedIn without seeing the Rizzler of LinkedIn. So I think we have a clip of you
Yeah.
as this. If we can roll that now.
Let's roll this clip. This will be fun to watch, guys. Have you guys already seen it?
I saved it for today.
They saved it. I have seen it.
I am excited.
This is going to be
Excited
great.
too.
What's up, all my Goldenhour friends? It's your boy, Kyle, aka The Rizzler, here to do another website Gen Z redesign. This time, it's for Audience Plus. Let's take a look at this H1 right off the bat. Your audience is cooked AF, bro. That's gonna stand out. And then with a little bit of a memo here about Audience Plus, got sis twisting ankles, sprinting to the comments on your owned media. Manifest, stack views, and convert, then run it back again, young bucks. Another area we really want to have an opportunity for some conversion rate optimization testing opportunities is in A/B testing these two CTAs, your primary and your secondary. So it's giving trauma and big Pisces energy. We think that's going to really land with the Gen Zers. And then next up is an opportunity where a lot of people don't realize they have little blank space here, right next to your name. So not you giving us your email and drink up. All right, moving on. One thing I want to call out here is a great chance to have a pop-up occur with a messaging app on your website. In this case, it says, "Said it. I'm JK, big energy boy at Audience Plus. I gotta know, my dude, how are you currently measuring the impact of your flopped content?" That's gonna trigger some people, and that's okay. Let's move into the second part that's below the fold on this website for Audience Plus, which is your videos are ass, dude. 1v1 your owned media platform against us right now and go ESPN 30 for 30 on these clowns in two ways. On Balto, way number one is gonna be turn your sorry ass content into the GOAT, sis. And then the other one over here, number two, is show your execs who daddy is with attribution up the wazoo. And just some little fun text here of zoinks, bruh. I got 2 racks on it that your audience will be sauced up like Travis Kelce at the Super Bowl. And then first party intent data is cheeks because the fakes are always afraid of what's real. Bet.
So that was iconic. Who are you and what is the Rizzler?
So, dudes, this is Kyle the Rizzler, a.k.a. Walt Rizzler, a.k.a. the Rizzler of Oz. I'm just here chilling with my my little pen pals here. I get to meet up IRL. I like to redesign websites for a generation that needs a voice at the table. And that's Gen Z website redesigns that I did for Audience Plus and any other company that wants it.
Oh my God.
So Rizzler, I have a question for you. You know, I know how difficult it is to create B2B content that's entertaining and to get buy-in on that. So how did you get started?
On God, my dude, if I were to go all the way back, way back, I'd say the way that I got started was actually by hanging out with other fellow 14-year-olds. Yeah, we're just kicking it. It was a little sus as a 33-year-old guy, but I was just trying to be in the moment to get as much depth that generation is giving me.
Is that what you would recommend as part of the content strategy when you're trying to implement edutainment?
Here's where I think most content marketers go wrong. They don't do enough method acting. It's really overlooked, and dude, it'll gas you up.
On God.
On God, period.
For real.
Guap.
Yeah, it sounds like you guys got it all figured out. I'm feeling caked up right now, sauced up. I'm ready to hang. Yeah.
No idea what that means. Thank you for gracing us with your presence, Rizzler of LinkedIn. Any final thoughts for other marketers trying to be Gen Z?
This one goes out to my mama. I hope you're proud. I hope that when it comes to content that you see on LinkedIn, that you shake your head and you go, that's my guy. My guy.
I love the gloves, man.
Yeah.
What?
That's all just part of the aesthetic, my dude.
All the kids are wearing them these days.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You never know what's out there.
The poet
Could
of
be
our
anything.
generation. Thanks for joining us, Rizzler.
Bless up. Kisses.